Okay, so this is one of the topics that for some reason seems to be like a stumbling block for a lot of people, and I'm glad that you guys suggested it today because I talked to some other coaches and got some tips from them kind of on how they sell and what their best advice is for their team when they have somebody that's struggling with selling challenge packs. And so I thought this was a really good topic to cover tonight, especially with Summit coming up because things kind of blow up around Summit time, and then the month after Summit. So in August, it's going to be a cup month. And for those of you guys that are new and have no idea what I'm talking about, you'll see it in your back office. You'll probably get an email about it. It's called the Team Beachbody Cup, and it's basically you get in teams of 5. So you plus 4 other coaches. There can only be 1 diamond on each team. I've participated every single time. I make record paychecks for myself during cup months because it's basically a competition for Success Club points. So if you don't register on a team, even if you're just shooting to hit Success Club 5 with 5 points, if you don't register to be on a team, then you don't get any of the prizes that month. So even if you don't plan to get like 50 Success Club points, get on a team because that's going to help you get points. So, and then basically what happens is you pool all the points together from everyone on the team, and then there's different tiers of prizes. So they're usually really cool prizes. They're like a lot of times like the lowest tier is like a shirt or a hat, but they're different every single time. The higher tiers are like freaking really cool prizes, and then the higher you go up in the tiers based on how many points your team has combined, you get all of the tiers below it. So if you get like a tier 3 prize, then you get tier 3, tier 2, and tier 1. So it's pretty cool to be able to band together with 4 other coaches for the month and really push yourself and push your business for the month and really just help each other out. And it really helps to add an extra layer of accountability. And like I said, the very first cup I ever participated in, I had no idea. I was a team cup captain. I had no clue what I was doing, but all I did was I was with 4 other brand new, like we were newbie coaches. And Lindsay told me, you need to do this. So I was like, okay, sign me up. So I did it. And I think it was my I signed up in May. The cup was in July. So it was like my second full month of coaching. And I think I got 14 points that month. And I rank advanced, and so I got some cool prizes. So for me, it was huge because it really just helps to, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I kind of thrive a little bit better on a little bit of competition. So it just kind of adds an extra layer of accountability, and there's some pretty sweet prizes. So this is a really good topic I feel like to cover tonight because I feel like this is something that is going to be really crucial for all of your guys' business. And like I said before, I have literally built my entire business on selling challenge packs. I do not think I've ever once sold a program by itself, period. I don't sell that. Like, to me in my head, it's not even an option. So I'm sharing some of my tips, but then also some of the other Star Diamond coaches from another group that I'm in, their tips and basic. And then also I was on a call right before this with Bo Eason. It was a Success Club prize, I think, for hitting Success Club in May and June or whatever. But he's like a motivational speaker. He used to be an NFL player, and he goes around now and he just speaks to people. So it was a really good call, and I felt like it. I swear everything happens for a reason because there was a message at the very end of that call that will perfectly tie into all of this. So so I'm excited. I feel like we're gonna have some really good information, and let's just jump right in. So. Let me try to close this. There we go. Okay. So the buildup is crucial. So basically in this business, it's about storytelling. It's about sharing your journey. And in order to be successful in this business, you must be willing to share, period. Like, if you are not willing to share your story, if you're not willing to share your struggles, your successes, and be willing to be vulnerable, you will not be successful in this business. Promise. At least your success is not going to be long-term. So you may be able to be, super good at retail sales and you can make money that way. But if you want to have longevity in this business, build yourself residual income, you must be willing to share. People are following you because of who you are. Not just because you're a Beachbody coach, not just because you like Shakeology, or you post cute workout sweaty selfies. Like, that's not why people are following you. People are following you because they feel connected to you for a reason. So people don't care so much about the products as much as they know, as much as they want to know that they work. So it's not like you guys have seen this before a bazillion times. Who has tried all the different fad diets out there? Me, hello, times like every single diet that's out there. And I didn't necessarily care about how it was going to happen. I just wanted to know that it was going to work. Like when I was an idiot and I did the HCG diet, which literally ruined my metabolism for like 2 years. It was horrible. It was awful. And I regret it every single day because it literally just killed my metabolism. But I lost 15 pounds and I was stoked because I lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks before my wedding. And it was so stupid, but I didn't care necessarily about the how. I just wanted to know that it worked. And that is the same thing. People don't necessarily care about how. They don't really necessarily care about the products as much as they want to know that when they buy something and when they invest in something, that it's going to work for them. So if you're not being a product of the product and showing people by example that the products do work, you're going to have a hard time sharing with them why they should buy them. So that's why the vital behaviors, being a product of the product is a vital behavior, because if people are not seeing that they work, they're not going to want to buy them. I promise. If you've never shown your before and after pictures or other people's, people don't necessarily care about you so much. I mean, they want to know that you get results too, but I know a lot of coaches who are still have a lot of weight to lose. And the thing is it's not so much about their story. People just want to feel connected to somebody that has experience with the products, and they want to be reassured that they're not wasting their money. So it's not so much, so you guys have to stop thinking that it's like, and getting so caught up in the objections and the cost and like inviting people and all that stress, and like we stress ourselves out so easily. You have to just remember that so much, one of the biggest pieces of this entire puzzle of selling challenge packs and building a business is sharing your results. That's huge. So that's why being a product of the product is something that we talk about so much. People don't care. They don't care how much it costs, you guys, because people spend like $500 a month on Nutrisystem and Jenny Craig and diet pills that don't work and phentermine from the doctor and like all kinds of stuff. People don't necessarily care about that. They just want to know that it works. Otherwise, if we all cared about what they were, then I guarantee you people wouldn't be taking diet pills. People wouldn't be taking, all this other crap that doesn't work. So just remember that people are looking to you to be an example and to reassure them that they're not wasting their money. So building that up to them is crucial. Talking about sharing is what's super, super vital to your business. So this business is about relationships. Every day that you share your journey, you're planting seeds and you're cultivating relationships with your followers. So if you're not sharing, you're not planting seeds. And whether that doesn't mean that you're talking to all these people individually all the time. It means that when you post a transformation picture of yourself, or you post a recipe that you created that you love, or you have a non-scale victory that you're celebrating, or you have a challenger that's doing really awesome, or whatever, if you're not sharing that stuff, then you're not planting seeds in those people that are watching you. So you have to be sharing all the time. And that does not mean you're sharing bikini pictures of yourself every day. So for those of you guys that are terrified about sharing before and afters, it doesn't have to be you. If you guys look at my page, I share a lot of before and afters from other people I don't even know, people that aren't even on our team, people I've never even met. They're just stories that I find through Beachbody or Google that I know are Beachbody transformations, and I use those. People don't necessarily care that I don't know them. And sometimes people think I do know them, which is fine. But Just because they're not somebody that you know doesn't mean it's not something that is worth sharing, because there's so many, like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of stories from that have used of people who have used Beachbody products that have completely changed their lives. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you every day, all day long. So keep that in mind. If you're not sharing, how can you expect to close a sale? You can't. You can't. People are not going to automatically know that you're a Beachbody coach and come to you when they have questions. You have to make that known. People need to see what you're doing, and they need to see that you're doing it consistently. When I very first started in this business and I made my very first post, like recruiting for a challenge group, I had probably like 30 to 40 messages of people like within a couple, I don't know, maybe 24 hours of my posting that. And of those 40 people, guess how many of them signed up? 2. One was my best friend, who she would have just done anything for me. And the other person was a referral from her, who would just do anything that she said to do. So of those 40 people, like I got a lot of bites, a ton of people that wanted information, but because they had not seen me be consistent with it and seen my results and seen that it actually works and all that, they wanted to sit back and wait until they saw that I was consistent with it. And then slowly, over the last 2 years, I've probably sold challenge packs to almost all of those people. I should go back and look. That would be interesting to see. But the thing is if you're not sharing and people are not seeing what you're doing, you're not going to be able to sell things. I promise. You have to talk about it. You have to share, and you have to do it consistently. A lot of times people join MLMs. They're super gung-ho for like the first month, and then they get discouraged and then they quit. So most people that are watching you are expecting that. The people that I have don't really, honestly, the reason I don't think that I have an issue selling things now is because people have seen me doing it long enough and seen that I'm serious about it. And this is not a gimmick. This is not a fad. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not, overnight success. This has taken time. This has taken consistency. This has taken a lot of energy, and a lot of persistence on my part. So, but you cannot expect people to just buy things from you right off the bat, unless they're they're your warm market. They're your family, your friends, people that you talk to on a regular basis, that you're sharing with on a regular basis about what you're doing. So your cold market and random people are not going to buy from you until you're consistent, until they watch you. And then with time, and everybody's different. Some people need a lot longer than others. With time, they'll come around, but they just want to see that you're serious about it and that it actually works. So every time that you post on social media, it needs to serve a purpose. This is the buildup. You want to give before you ask for the sale. So think about that. You want to think about all the posts that you're making. You want them to be of value to people. You want people to want to come to your page and be excited about what they see and be excited to check back to see what you're posting about. If you're posting just boring, random stuff, people are just going to scroll right by you. So you need to give much more than you ask for. So you need to give a lot before you ask for the sale. You can post fluff, like random stuff, funny stuff, whatever, but keep that only about 10 to 20% of the time. Like, don't just post on Facebook just to post. If you're going to post just to post, make it meaningful, make it something that's motivational, make it a transformation story, make it a recipe, something that's going to, grab somebody's attention. It doesn't necessarily have to be this whole long, drawn out, big, exhausting post 5 times a day. You can post, stuff that's not really super time consuming and like intense, but you need to make sure that when you're posting, you're not just posting all fluff and it not really having any meaning. So you want to give your followers, also known as your potential customers and coaches, because that's who all of your followers are, a reason to follow you. If not, you're just another person that they're scrolling past. So this is where identifying your niche is really important. So figuring out who your niche is. And when you figure that out, so like for me, my niche is moms in their like 20s and early 30s. Not that some of you are not in that. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be here. But the majority of the people that I connect with are moms that are in their 20s and 30s. So when I'm posting, I'm like essentially talking specifically to those people. So I'm finding funny quotes or little memes that those moms and that demographic and that niche would relate to. I'm posting recipes that are quick and easy for busy moms on the go. I'm posting recipes that are kid friendly. I am showing workout pictures where Emmy's photobombing me and climbing all over me. I'm, things like that are, a mom that's in my niche would relate to. So if you're younger, if you're older, or people that are, if you have a unique kind of niche where you are like Debbie, this made me think of you. Your niche is going to be like single moms. So that's like something that you can cater to when you're talking about that. You're not just like, you're going to be sharing stuff that's helpful for single moms, stuff that like, things that help you. When you're talking in your posts, when you're like, especially when you're doing a recruiting post for a challenge group or for coaching, or, really sharing like, and being vulnerable, you want that post to reach out and grab those single moms. So you want to talk like you're talking to yourself. What would attract you? And that's why figuring out who your niche is important, because you want to attract people that are like you, because you connect with those people better. You can lead them better, and you just get each other. It's like when you meet somebody else that, you just click with them. So you want that to be, when you're posting, you want to keep that in mind. It doesn't mean every single post has to be like that, but you want to make sure that you're kind of targeting a specific group of people. When I'm posting about a challenge group, I am not posting for anyone and everyone to join. You'll notice I don't have guys in my challenge groups, because it's not that I don't want men in my groups. It's just that I connect better with women. And every now and then when we get a guy that wants to join, they drop out within like 24 hours because they see all that estrogen and they're like, no, thank you. So, so figuring out who your niche is, and most of you guys, because pretty much all of you guys that are on this call are moms. So most of you guys are going to have that kind of niche. The age group might be a little bit different. The demographic might be a little bit different, but you want to just make sure that you figure that out, so that you're not just posting to anyone and selling to anyone and talking to anyone. Not that you can't help everyone, but it's just better when you're more specific about who you're working with. Okay, so give, and then ask. So when you're posting, you want to be adding value to your post. Like I said before, post things that are helpful, insightful, provoke thought and emotion. You don't want to just post the same things all the time. Like, we love your kids are super cute, but we don't care about seeing their pictures 15 times a day. Oops. And you know what? Before I became a Beachbody coach, I posted 99% of the time was about Emmy. And it's just because that was my life, So it's not that that's a bad thing, but people think your kids are cute. They don't want to see them 10 times a day, though, I promise. So save those pictures, send them to your mom or your husband or your sisters or your friends or whatever. If you feel the need that you have to share something. If it's something super cute and funny, post it. But I'm just saying, you don't want to make all your posts all day long, every day about your kids or whatever, the same thing. Same thing. You don't want it to be Beachbody all day long, Shakeology all day long, challenge groups all day long. That gets boring. People, and they'll just scroll right past you because they'll learn to expect that that's all you're going to talk about. So get creative and narrow down the things that you want to focus on. So Lindsay always talks about finding your 5 things, the 5 things that make you who you are. So you'll see that I talk a lot about my family. food and cooking and recipes because I love doing that. Fitness is part of it because that's, my life has been totally changed by our products. So I do talk about that. I don't necessarily share like join my challenge group every day, but you'll see me posting my sweaty selfies and stuff like that. What else I talk about? I talk a lot about, or I do, I need to do more of like hair and makeup beauty kind of things. And the rest of it's probably like funny stuff. Or I'll share, kind of just my more personal stuff. So stuff about postpartum depression, stuff about having, super high needs child. I'll share my blog posts where I do get really real, stuff like that. So you just want to find, and everybody's 5 things are probably going to be different. Some of them are probably going to be very similar. Like I said, you guys are all kind of in my niche, so we are all going to have things that overlap, and that's fine. But you want to find those 5 things, write them down in a place that you, with your to-do list, your Beachbody business to-do list, and make sure that you're posting about a variety of things every single day. So you don't have to post 5 times a day, but you want to aim for 3 to 5 times of a variety of things. So it's really not that hard. It really helps me to have it visual. So when I write down on my, my tracker, my to-do list, like, okay, I did a post about food. We're going to check that off. Okay, now I need to do one about family, or I need to do one about like, sorry guys. I need to do one that's, beauty related, or a sweaty selfie, or whatever. You just want to make sure that you're having a variety of stuff and not talking about the same stuff every day all day long. So people who are successful in this business offer a lot of value. They make people want to follow them for a reason. You want to give back to your followers much more than you ask of them. So give equals add value, value, value. And there's a really great book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's by Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks about social media specifically and how to use the different platforms in the best way. But basically, this is his technique. He's a very successful entrepreneur, but he talks about jab, 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 right hook. So give, then ask. So that's kind of a motto to live by with your business. You want to give much more to your followers than you're asking of them. If you're constantly recruiting for a challenge group, people are going to get so over that because they feel like it's salesy. They feel like all you care about is money, or all that you want from them is a sale. People want to feel valued. They want to feel important, and they want to go to your page and feel like, wow, this person shares so much stuff. They have so many insightful things that they talk about, or they're so inspirational, or they share a lot of really good recipes, and you want them to feel inspired when they go to your page, not like, ugh, I feel like this person's just a billboard and this is all that they're asking is constantly talking about their groups and join my team. And so you want those posts to be kept to a minimum, and you want the posts where you're adding value to be the way more majority, like 90% giving, 10% asking. Because it just gets old. And you guys have all seen those MLM people that are like that. It works. People are notorious for it. Buy my wraps. Buy 3 wraps, get 1 free. They don't even freaking work. So you just don't want to be one of those people. You won't see people recruiting on Facebook for a challenge group every day. Well, at least the successful people. That's because you want to be focused on adding value to your sorry, this was I was typing this in the car. You want to be focused on adding value to your audience's lives. And then when the time is right, then you ask. But you can't ask until you give. So for those of you guys that you might be doing this backwards, you're recruiting for a challenge group, but you're not giving to your audience. Why should they join your challenge group if they know nothing about you? They have no idea what your transformation is. They have no idea what your story is. They have no clue what a challenge group even is. You have to educate people. So if you're doing this backwards, you need to rethink and refocus, because The sharing part is so, so, so important. If you are not sharing, this is not going to work. Promise. So you have to share. You have to be willing to share. And yes, I am very much aware how much time it takes to come up with really good posts. I am very much aware of it. It takes a lot of time if you're really thinking about what your audience wants. So like I said, the posts don't have to be super like long, drawn out, intense like posts 5 times a day. But you want to make sure that you're just sharing enough that people feel like they get to know who you and who you are and what you're all about before you ask for a sale. Okay, so when you ask, when you finally make that recruiting post, when you're asking, you're talking about a challenge group or you're asking for people to apply to join your team, confidence always wins. Always. You could be bottom of the totem pole, never sold a challenge pack in your life, have no coaches on your team, like, bottom of the leaderboards. If you are not confident in your approach, people will see you right through it. So confidence is key. Your transformation is an really important part, but the way that you carry yourself is much more important. People don't care that I don't have a six-pack and like super defined arms and legs and muscles popping all over the place. People don't care because I am confident in what I'm offering them. So confidence in your delivery when you're doing your challenge group post, confidence in what you're offering. So the way that you word that post and the way that you talk to people in private messages. Confidence is so, so important. If you're not confident in explaining to your potential customer why they should join you, they're going to see right through it. And they're not going to want to join you because you feel shaky, you feel scared, you feel nervous. You have to be so confident in what you're offering that if they say no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Promise, you guys, this is literally like the bread and butter. How can you be good at sales if you don't even, like, if you're scared about what you're offering? Like, when someone's selling a car, like, car salesmen are great for this because they come out, they have their swagger. They're all, they're full of it. They're, kind of haughty. They're kind of arrogant. And they think that they're going to sell you a car with a sticker price that's on the car window. They believe that 100%. And they believe that you're going to throw down, $2,000 cash and you're going to take the 8% APR. They believe that. So, but the reason that it happens, that people do that, is because that salesperson is confident in what they're selling you. They make you, we have all experienced people like that are so good at selling you something that it's something you don't even need and you want to buy it. So you need to have that kind of confidence when you're talking to somebody. And that confidence comes from belief in the products and it comes from your transformation. So if you're not confident enough yet to share, you need to make your transformation your number one priority. That is your most important job. I am not saying that you have to have your 100% transformation before you sell challenge packs, because I did not. But I had enough of a belief in what I was offering people and enough of a belief in myself that I didn't have a problem selling challenge packs when I was a brand new coach. I had only used Chalene Extreme for like a couple weeks. So it wasn't like I hadn't even gotten through the first 30 days of it. I hadn't gotten through my first bag of Shakeology, but I knew how it made me feel. And I knew that if I stuck with it, I was going to get results because I was sore. I was seeing, changes in my body that couldn't be seen from the outside yet, but I could feel changes. So for me, and for all of you guys, that confidence is going to come from your personal transformation, not just like on the physical side, but there's a transformation that happens internally when you go through a physical transformation. So yes, it's physical on the outside and people can see that. But I will always say that the transformation that I've experienced internally is far more dramatic than my physical transformation. Because through all those, sweaty workouts, through all of the times when I had to turn down cake when I didn't want to, all those times that I struggled with finding clothes that fit, all of those times, and all of that built my character. And all of that, I know when somebody comes to me and they tell me, oh, you just lost weight because you were breastfeeding, and it's super easy for moms to lose weight after they have a baby because they're nursing and they're burning all these extra calories. Not me. I literally had to work for every single pound that came off of this body. I worked for every single inch, and that built my confidence. And that showed me that if I could get through that really hard time of feeling so depressed about where my life was at, feeling so depressed about my body, being so incredibly sleep deprived, my marriage being on the rocks, all of those things, I made it through that. And that has built my confidence. And it's taken a lot of times of falling off the wagon. It's taken a lot of people telling me no. It's taken a lot of people, thinking this whole thing is a joke. And I have used that as fuel for me to push harder, to prove to people that they can do it. When I have people that tell me and give me excuses of, oh, well, I can't do that because I'm just so busy, or I can't work out, I can't find 30 minutes a day. Bullshit. Excuse my language. It's true. If you're on Facebook, you got time to work out, period. And even if that means you have to do 15 minutes in the morning and the other 15 minutes at night, everybody has time because you make time for what's important to you. You have time to feed yourself. You have time to feed your kids. You have time to watch, Friends on DVR. You have time to, and I'm not saying that this isn't your priority, because some people really are busy, but guess what? They get up early to work out if they don't have time to do it during the day. So you make time for what's important to you. You're going to get a ton of no's. You will. Like I said, that very first post I did, I got like 40 something people probably. And I got 2. One of them was my best friend. That doesn't even really count. So she would have bought it even if she would have bought it anyway. She's never even done it, you guys. She bought the challenge pack. She never even opened Brazil Butt Lift, okay? Never once. She's never even popped that DVD in. So that'll show you. She just did it to do me a favor. But you're going to get a ton of no's, period. And those are just seeds that are planted because, like I said, almost all those people, I would literally have to go back and look, but I would bet money that at least 90% of those have bought a challenge pack for me since then. So when you get those no's, you have to think of them as seeds planted, and that means you need to be doing more. You need to be posting more consistently, sharing your journey and other people's transformations. So yours plus other people's. It doesn't have to all be you. You need to be refining the way that you approach people. So when you do a post and it bombs, don't take it personally. Just learn okay, something in that didn't work. Tweak it next time. Learn from your mistakes. You have to make mistakes. You have to, period. I've made a lot of mistakes, but it's really taught me that certain things don't work. So that's okay. It's actually good. It teaches you, then you can check that off your list. Okay, that didn't work. Don't do that again. So get comfortable with failing. It's going to happen a lot. It needs to become your BFF. Promise. Hold on. I'm going to get a drink of water. Give me 1 second. Okay. Nobody likes a scared Sally. So who wants to have a coach that's scared to talk about what they're doing? Who wants to have a coach that's scared to lead their customers? Nobody. You guys did not all come to me because I'm scared. Yeah, okay, I lie. I am scared. I'm scared all the time. But the difference is I take that fear and I use it as fuel. I take that fear and I say, F it, basically. You're going to be scared. You're going to have to go outside your comfort zone every single day. Every single day. But guess what? The more you do it, the easier it gets. Because confidence comes from within, and confidence is built over time. It comes from failing and getting back up and doing it again every single day. Babies are born without fear. We adults put that fear into them. Like when they learn to walk, they're not scared. They're not scared of the table that's right there that they could fall and smack their head on and give themselves a black eye. We put that fear into them. We make them scared. We teach them how to be scared. When a little kid learns to ride a bike, the kid is stoked when they get up on two wheels and they're going and they're like so excited and they're on this huge high. And then the parents are over there like covering their eyes because they're so scared that they're going to crash. We have to stop that. We have to approach this business in that way that you are putting the fear into yourself. Our culture puts it into us. If you're scared all the time, that fear will cripple you and it will cripple your business. You have to look that fear in the face and use it as fuel. You're gonna get knocked down a lot, but the confidence will come when you get back up and you go at it again. Just like babies when they're walking. They don't just stand up and try to walk and then fall down and they fell down so they don't ever do it again. Otherwise, all of us would still be crawling. They get up and they do it over and over and over and over again. They bonk their heads, they scrape their knees, they hurt their hands. Like, you have to think of it like that. This is not like a one size fits all, like you get in and you do it this way. Yes, we have tons of tools for you guys, but you're going to have to get in there and get your elbows dirty and just do it and figure out what works, because what works for me may not work for you. And like I said, I can give you the tools, but if you don't do anything with them, if you don't try to use them, then you're not going to go anywhere. So if you're really struggling with this, and confidence is something that's really not, doesn't come to you naturally, because it definitely does come to some people more easily than others, then you need to make BFFs with some personal development and some sweat. So that means your transformation needs to be a big priority, because it will come. I promise you guys. When you get that transformation, you know that you worked for every single inch on that body and every single pound that's gone and every single muscle definition. When you worked for that, you will get confidence from that. I promise you. So if this is something that you're really having a hard time with, personal development, and make sure that you're getting your workouts in and make sure that that's your priority. It's really, really important. And not just your priority is your workouts, but your food too. Food's super important. Okay, so ask and you shall receive. I know you guys are thinking like, okay, when is she going to get to the nitty gritty about challenge packs? But this is literally the bread and butter. You can't sell a challenge pack if you don't have all these other pieces. So if you don't ask from your customers, if you're not recruiting actively, somebody else will recruit those people. Promise. People that, like, I've seen coaches in this business come in and they go gung-ho for a month and then they quit. And then those people that were interested in that coach, they just end up going to other coaches, because people are attracted to this business. They're attracted to our products because they're freaking amazing. And people want to have the support. I mean, we offer something that no other company has. We offer the support of coaches. So if you're not asking and you're not recruiting, somebody else will. Or guess what, guys? They'll go to beachbody.com and order, and they'll get assigned somebody random. Or they'll go to Amazon. Or even worse, they'll go to Craigslist and buy, something that's used. At least they have it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're not asking, people will find somebody else that will. I promise. So when in private messages, you're going to answer questions and keep it light, but you're going to be confident in what you're offering. Break everything down for them so it's easy for them to understand. Show them the value with numbers. Don't avoid the cost question all the time. You're going to have to face it at some point. But show them with numbers, show them the value so that they can see that they're getting a deal. Challenge packs are always the best deal, and our customers need to be educated on that. a lot of times they don't realize that they're getting a big discount when they order them together than if they were to order things separate. So show them that. Show them what they're getting. When they give you an objection, meet them where they are. So when somebody tells me they think it's expensive, I validate that. I don't think it's cheap. But if you're like, oh my gosh, I know it's so expensive and I was really nervous about it and I'm still really nervous about it and I don't know if I can afford it, and like, don't do that. Validate their concerns, share how you felt when you were in their shoes, and then share how you overcame that. So when somebody tells me, oh my gosh, I mean, we're only on one income and I just don't think I can afford that. But yet I've seen them post on Facebook 4 times a week their Starbucks addiction. And I know right there that they're spending more in Starbucks than they would be spending on a challenge pack. So I don't say that like, hey, I saw you went to Starbucks 5 times this week and how much did you spend? You probably spent at least $30 on lattes, and that right there will pay for Shakeology. I don't say it like that, but validate them. I tell people when I very first started and I bought my very first challenge pack, we were on one income. I was on unemployment. We were on a very tight budget. I put it on a credit card, and that's the truth. I put my stuff on a credit card because I wanted to change so bad. And if people want it, they'll do it, you guys. I promise. Brigitte Linford, who is a top coach, who is making 6 figures, who's killing it in this business, who was super depressed on tons of medication. Her life was just, her husband was working like 3 jobs. She was to the point where she was having to return toilet paper to Walmart to get enough money to put groceries on the table. So they were strapped. She took the last $200 that was on her credit card to buy her challenge pack because she wanted to change so bad. So if people want it, it doesn't matter how much it costs. There are people who sign up for like Mary Kay, and I don't know if Mary Kay, but Ava, no, it's probably Mary Kay. No, I don't know. One of those makeup companies, maybe it is Mary Kay. You have to buy like a $600 package, and then you have to sell all that. We don't have to do that. So I explain to people, I totally understand what that feels like. When I bought my challenge pack, we were on one income. I put it on my credit card. I didn't even tell my husband because we had separate credit cards. And then I promised him when I did tell him that I would cut out everything extra as far as my eating out, my Starbucks, my Jamba Juice, Subway, snacks whenever I was out and about running errands, to see if I was really saving money. And I did. I saved a lot of money that first month. I probably would have spent almost double that just on random stuff. So when I explain that you're basically getting the best meal of the day that you could possibly buy for $4, and you're getting, this amazing workout program and my support and all that, I generally don't have an issue when we get to that point. So you just want to treat people the way that you would like to be treated. You would want someone to have compassion. If I had somebody that came to me and they were like, I don't know if I can really afford that right now. And I was like, well, you know what, like, whatever, like, I don't even want to help you anyway. And just put it on a credit card. Like, nobody will know. Who's going to want to work with me? Like, nobody. That's not cool. You want to be genuine with people. You want to be understanding. So just think about that. And I'm not saying that any of you guys do that, but I just feel how it felt when you were in that position. And some of you may still be in that position where things are tight, but you have a belief in the products and you know how it makes you feel. And you know that drinking your Shakeology is 1,000 times better than drinking that $4 latte from Starbucks that makes you hungry in about an hour and dehydrates you and does nothing except give you maybe a little bit of buzz. But Shakeology is going to give you energy that's longer than that. So anyways, while I ramble. Okay, break it down. When you're explaining the price of a challenge pack, show them that they're getting a deal. And this is kind of like an outline of what I kind of say. You guys can copy it, or I can put it or screenshot it or whatever if you need this slide, if you want it. But this is not what I say word for word every time, but this is generally like an overview. So if let's say someone's interested in 21-day fix, which is typically I sell a lot of 21-day fix. So this is kind of what I say. The 21 Day Fix is our best-selling program, and I love this program because it's so easy to follow. It comes with these cool little color-coded portion control containers, or you can just say like measuring containers because that sounds a little lengthy. Color-coded portion control container sounds so long. It comes with a meal plan that explains everything. The workouts are all 30 minutes, and they're all on DVDs. Plus, you get a bonus workout from ordering through me, which everybody does. If you guys don't know that, every time someone orders through a coach, they get a bonus workout DVD. So with 21 Day Fix, it's the plyo workout that they get. It's extra. They don't get that if they order from like beachbody.com. So that's exclusively through ordering through a coach. Plus you get a bonus workout from ordering through me, and you get 30 days of Shakeology. And this is what I almost always say, which is my favorite part and the game changer for me, because it really was. Seriously was. Plus, you'll have access to me as your coach and the online daily support and accountability group. This package is $140, which is a deal because Shakeology is normally $129 by itself. So you are essentially getting the whole 21 Day Fix program for $10 instead of $60. So they're saving like, I think it's like $60 to $70 with this package when it's on sale for $160. So they're saving a ton of money. So explain that to them. Like show them, like not just like, oh yeah, you're getting these workouts in a shake. You're getting the containers, you're getting the workouts. Oh, and I forgot, I usually add in too, you also get 30 days of access to the on-demand, which is freaking cool. Then this is like what I say. It's freaking cool. It's like one of my favorite things ever. You get access to tons, it's like $3,000 worth of content online that if you want to, to mix it up one day, you can do that. Or if you're on the go, you don't have to have the DVDs, whatever. People love that because it feels like they're getting a ton more stuff than if you just say, yeah, you're getting shakes and a workout and that's it. So you want to break it all down so it seems like they're getting a lot, which they are. They're getting a lot. But a lot of times people need to see, like, written out what they're getting so that they feel like they're not just getting gypped. So when they say that's too expensive, validate that, but explain to them they're getting 30 meals, 30 perfectly healthy, well-balanced, amazing meals. That in and of itself would cost more than $140. So 30 meals plus a program that they can use over and over and over. They can keep it forever. And the support they need to be able to make it worth it. So reiterate their goals to them, help them remember why they wanted to do it in the first place. If they still think it's too expensive, sometimes I'll offer them like a free gift, which is usually like a shaker cup or a Shakeology tote bag or some headbands or something cute, like a cute workout tank top or something. So, because sometimes people, by throwing that little bit of incentive in that costs us a couple bucks, it might seal the deal for some people. Or, some samples of E&E or another flavor of Shakeology or whatever. Just something. Sometimes people want that little extra freebie. Or make plans with them to follow up with them when it's a better time financially. But if I've played my cards right, I pretty much don't ever have this issue where I have to give out stuff or just say I'm going to follow up. Because most of the time, if we're having a conversation and I tell them the price and then, they don't really respond, or most of the time that's what happens. They just won't respond back because they have like sticker shock and they feel embarrassed about saying, oh, I can't afford that. So what I'll do in that case is I'm not going to keep messaging them like, hey, message me back. Hey, I saw that you saw this. Hello, are you there? What's going on? I just leave it for like a couple days. And then if it's getting really close to when my challenge group is starting, then I'll just touch base with them and say, hey, are you still interested in this? My group's starting, on Monday. I really want to help you out, help you get into that wedding dress or lose that baby weight or whatever. Let me know if this is something, if you're still interested, so I can save you a place in my group. If not, and if they still don't respond, then I usually will say, this doesn't seem like this is a good time for you, and would it be okay if I followed up with you before my next group starts. And a lot of times they'll say, yeah, I'm so sorry, I got busy. Yes, I'm still interested. Or, I can't do it this month, but I can do it next month. I mean, usually people are really nice. They just feel uncomfortable saying, a lot of times people just feel weird about saying, I can't afford that right now. Especially when you're like, this is a super good deal. And they're like, oh, I can't afford that. So, but just keep it light and you never want to leave a conversation where it's like awkward. You don't want to bug them too much. And sometimes you guys, like, I'll go back and I'll like message them the next month or whatever. I've had this one woman who's literally commented on my posts, like when I do a recruiting post, like 6 or 8 times she's commented, hey, can you send me the details in an email? So I email her all the details and then she doesn't respond back. And that to me is not like, hey, Mackenzie, keep bugging her. She's not ready. And that's okay. So I just keep her on my list. I don't keep bugging her. And I just remember that some people need longer than others. Some people get that sticker shock and they're like, ah. So if they say no, think of it as seeds planted. Don't take it personally. It's not about you. I promise. Unless you're being super whiny and needy and like, then they're like, ugh, you're annoying me. So don't do that either. Sometimes people need several exposures before they're ready to say yes. This is normal. After the first exposure, so the first like message conversation that you guys have, the sticker shock usually has worn off by the next exposure and it's much easier to seal the deal. So for example, today, I just sold a challenge pack right before this call. And the girl who I sold it to, I went back to our conversations and we have had 6 separate conversations that were just about Beachbody. We had other conversations mixed in there that didn't have anything to do with it, but 6 separate exposures since January. She just bought her challenge pack today. So that's like 6 freaking months, you guys. 6 months. I sent her samples of Shakeology so that she could try them. She couldn't afford it at the time. I didn't say, oh, screw you. I just spent, $15 on Shakeology and I sent it to you and went out of my way to do this. And then you didn't like even buy anything for me. Not at all, because I had to think of it that I planted that seed. We had a connection. I think she was honestly, it was like a random message in a group. I think we were in like a breastfeeding group or something. And I was talking about Shakeology or somebody asked about it or something. But she saw my picture and she messaged me and we just started a conversation and she was pregnant at the time and then she had to go back to work. So money was really tight and then she had surgery. And so it's just, she's had a lot of stuff going on in her life. But it took 6 exposures of her seeing my posts, of her seeing, everything every single month. And it took 6 times in order for her to actually do it. So that's normal, you guys. I mean, I typically don't have to do 6 exposures, but every now and then I do. Maybe every one out of 5 or 6 people need that. So keep that in mind. I mean, some of you guys, it may have taken several exposures to get you guys to do it too. So, so just know that, and if you have a ton of people like that, then guess what? You need to talk to more people. So, and you need to keep sharing. So don't push so hard that they're turned off by you. Be understanding and keep in contact with them. Don't leave that conversation in an uncomfortable spot. So if they can't afford it and they say that and you're just like, okay, well, whatever, like I'm trying to hit Success Club and like this is really going to help me out. And, like just be understanding. Treat people how you'd want to be treated. Be genuine and know. And she said today, after she bought her challenge pack, she was really excited. And she said, thank you so much for answering all of my questions over the last like several months. She's like, I feel like I've bugged you so much and you've just been so kind just responding to my messages with no pressure at all. And that's how you want your customers to feel. You don't want them to feel pressured. You don't want to try to convince them to do something that they're not ready to do and to spend $150 on something that they're not even really sure that they want. So just treat people kindly. And that will get you much further than pushing people and trying to, and then, because then it's like if you push them and they're not ready and they end up returning it, guess what? You did all that work and then now you have to deal with negative Success Club points and negative commission, and that sucks. So don't do it that way. Okay, so Debbie had a question about the price breakdown for a coach account. So, and this is something that, like, if I know somebody's going to be on Shakeology, like if they told me they need to lose like 50 pounds, and I know that they're going to probably be on Shakeology for more than a month, I always offer this for them. Yes, we make less money. We do. Because if they're a discount coach and they're not working the business, I'm only making like maybe 18 bucks every time their Shakeology ships versus 32. But to me, it's worth it in the long run if they're going to get great results. So I'd much rather somebody stay on Shakeology for 5 months as a discount coach than for 2 months and then cancel it because they can't afford it. So about 20 to 30 bucks that they're going to save with a coach account for some people is really huge. So when they sign up with the challenge pack, the $40 fee is waived if they're going to sign up for the coach account. And then their Shakeology goes, and this is kind of how I explain it. Like when somebody's asking me if I brought that up, the wholesale coach account, I'll say something like, if they're interested in saving money and they know they want to be on Shakeology, I'll say, well, there's an option for the wholesale coach account, which basically gives you 25% off on your Shakeology, and it'll save you about $20 to $30 a month. So this is how I break it down so that they can see. If they stay on Shakeology as a customer, they're going to pay $129 plus tax and shipping, which ends up being about $140 to $150, depending on where they live. If they're going to sign up for a coach account, their Shakeology goes down to $97 plus tax and the $2 shipping. So it's about $105 plus the $15 fee, which everyone has to pay. So it comes out to about $120. So it's going to save them $20 to $30 on Shakeology alone. It's worth it only if they plan to be on Shakeology for longer than 1 month. If they're only going to be on Shakeology for 1 month and they sign up with the coach account, it means nothing. Because the discount doesn't really come in unless they're going to order a ton of other workouts that first month. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to be a discount coach for just 1 month. So especially because it's going to cost them initially the same to be a customer or a coach. So it's only worth it if they plan to be on Shakeology for more than a month or if they plan to work the business. So, and then I also let them know with the coach account, you don't have to order Shakeology every single month. Because some people think, oh, is there like a minimum order? Because some companies are like that where you have to order, X amount of dollars of stuff per month. You don't have to do that for a coach account, but you do have to pay the $15 fee. Everybody has to pay that unless they're military. So I explained that as well. You don't have to order Shakeology every single month. You can do it every other month if that's what you want to do. If like maybe they don't go through a whole bag in 30 days. Maybe they do smaller scoops and they go through it in 45 days. So they don't want to get it every month. But they still have to pay the $15 fee unless they're military. So I explained that, and a lot of times people are drawn into that option because they want to stay on Shakeology and they want to save a little bit of money. So it's a win-win for both of us. Okay, this is our last slide, I think. And this is what I was finishing up the last minute from this call that I was just on with Bo Eason earlier tonight. And for those of you guys that don't know who he is, I didn't know who he was, but he is a former NFL player who is now a motivational speaker. And he gave us these 3 tips for success, and they really struck a chord with me, especially like I was saying at the beginning of this call, that it totally ties into to selling challenge packs and to working this business. So he talks about your story, and you're going to hear us talk about that over and over and over and over and over again, because a huge part of this business is storytelling and perfecting your story. So he says, the more personal your story, the more universal it becomes. You cannot have a generic story. You cannot shy away from your story being personal. You want people to follow you. If you want people to follow you, you make your story personal because it makes them think about their life. So when you're sharing, so for me, and this was really huge. This is why you see a lot of coaches sharing the really crappy parts of their life. This is why you'll see me talking about some of the things that are really, really hard for me to talk about, like my postpartum depression, like having a really intensely needy child, like having my dad that abandoned me and my siblings in my teen years and left my mom basically high and dry. you'll hear me talking about those things because in sharing that, I am evoking an emotion in other people that makes them think about their life. So when I talk about the struggles that I've been through and how that changed me as a person and how I've overcome those things, that makes, and all of you guys, that's the reason that you guys were attracted to me is not because of my transformation necessarily. It's because of my story. It's because I made you feel something by me sharing what I've been through. So some of you guys, we may have connected on, just the struggles of being a mom. Some of us, we all have our separate relationships, but the reason that you guys were drawn to me is because I made you feel something. I made you think about your life and how your life could be different because I made a decision to change my own life. So you want your story when you're sharing, you have to share the good, the bad, and the ugly. You have to. It is what makes you who you are. It is what makes you unique and different. You can't be generic. You can't be. I mean, like, look at Lindsay. She's this blonde girl that used to be a bartender, and people could just look at her and say, oh, you've had it easy your whole life. You're beautiful. You've never been overweight. You have this amazing relationship. You have this gorgeous daughter. Like, people could look at her from the outside and think that she's had it so easy. And that girl has been through some stuff, a lot of stuff, and we all have. And that's what makes us who we are. So when you're sharing and you're on your Facebook and you're like, you have to use your Facebook and your social media as kind of like your public diary. You have to use it in a way that it's a window into your life. So, sorry, Debbie, I'm not picking on you, but I'm using you as an example because this is one of those things that, like for you, being a single mom is a really hard job. But guess what? I don't really connect with single moms in a way that you can because I still have somebody helping me. Even though Joe works a lot and I do feel like a single parent half the time, I know, and I was raised by a single parent. My mom, raised all four of us by herself, and so I understand on that level what that's like. But you can connect with other women in a way that I can't. So you guys, every single one of you has unique parts of your story that you need to share. We've all had heartbreak. We've all had disappointments. We've all had, and if you've had a pretty like easy peasy kind of life, everybody has something. Everybody has something. There were times in our lives where we were let down. There were times, where we failed. There were times when we went through phases of depression and stuff like that. And you have to be able to share that stuff. So it's really, really important. If you don't know what your story is, you need to sit down with some paper and write down some of the things that kind of shaped you in your life, some of the hard stuff, some of the good stuff, some of the bad stuff, some of the ugly stuff, and you need to craft your story based on those things. So the other thing he talked about was physicality. We're put on this earth to be physical, to run, to hunt, to lead. Be physical with your story. We are predators. We're human predators. And it sounds so scary, but the way he explained it was when you think of predatory animals, they're very like elite. And we are the elite predators on this earth. We're the smartest. We're, the most clever. We are the most elite animals in the world. So never apologize for who you are. You have to be unapologetically yourself. And one of the people that, if you guys are not following Amy Silverman, she is a freaking pro at being unapologetically Amy. She's perfect at it. So that's one thing that I'm working on. I do still want to please people a lot. So that's something that I have to work on, but never apologize for who you are. And there's always going to be haters, always, 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 always. And you have to just grow a thick skin and not care what those people think. Because for every hater that you have, there's probably 100 people that love you and adore you and admire you and are inspired by you. And then the last thing was generosity. So he said you need to have generosity in your spirit. And when you're thinking, when you're interacting with people, think about how much of myself can I give? And like we touched on before, give, and then ask. So you want to be giving to others more than you're asking in return. And every time you tell your story, it has to be personal, physical, and you have to give all of yourself. If you do these things, people will not have the ability to look away from you. And that's true. There's people that are just magnetic, that you just want to follow and you just want to watch. And the reason they're that way is because they evoke something in you that makes you feel something specific. I had no clue Lindsay was like the top coach, millionaire, like all those things when I was like very first starting out in the business. I had no idea like who to sign up with. I did not sign up with her specifically because she was who she was. I signed up with her because I had a connection to who she was as a person, to who she was as a mom. I had like a soul connection to her. And that was the reason I signed up with her. It was not about the money. It was not about like, I had no freaking clue. I mean, it wasn't really a strategic move for me, honestly. It was a heart move. I felt something in my heart and I went with that. And I feel like when you really follow your heart, you can't ever really go wrong. So think of those things when you're dealing with all of your people, and really just think about how you can serve others instead of how other people can serve you. So that's the end of that. I'm going to stop recording, but if anybody wants to hang on, I'm going to be on for a little bit. And if you guys want the slides, I can put the slides in the group for anybody that wants them in case you didn't want to take notes or whatever. And then obviously this is recorded, so it'll be posted as soon as it's done uploading. So I'm going to stop recording, and if anybody wants to hang on for a few minutes, you're welcome. I'll hang on for like 10 or 15 minutes. And if not, thank you guys so much for being on and making it a priority to be here. I really appreciate it, and it makes my life much happier and joyful when I'm not talking to myself on these Zoom calls. So love you guys, and I will talk to you guys all soon.